to everyone else first and never gets to themselves. You could be the person who looks and who chooses to build something that actually reflects what you have worked so hard to earn. The person who thrives, especially when they don't expect us to. So all of that to say, this is the work that helps reduce the stress, and that version of you that you're feeling who can achieve all this has always been there. And today you just got a little bit closer. So I will see you all soon. Thank you for being here. Here's how to connect with me. And I want to thank Power to Fly for creating this space to chat and learn about topics that help more of us thrive and fly, especially around money. Like money is such a taboo topic. We're not talking about it, but we're normalizing more money conversations. So please, anything you learned from today, share it with your loved ones too. Like the more we talk about this, the more normal it is. It's okay. More of us need to have this information so that more of us can be winning the game of money and living and funding our most blissful vidas. So thank you so much. We can move to Q&A when you're ready. And I
Yeah, of
hope to see you all
course.
soon.
Oh yeah. Well, so as I was listening, I was honestly participating more than I usually do get to do in these chats. So that was really fun for me. Thank you for that. Um, no, as you were talking, the like limiting beliefs around money and stuff, like as I was kind of thinking back, there's probably a lot of those that I have. Around the idea of kind of like what what smart people do with their money versus what the rest of us are supposed to do. Like I don't consider myself smart, kind of stuff like that. And so I really appreciate the kind of, dedicated time to be like, no, 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 no. Let's actually think about that and then realize, no, that's not true. So we can leave that in the past.
Yeah.
Um, if someone is struggling financially, I mean, I don't think I'm alone in this. I think we all are feeling this the pinch a bit. And I've got a lot of friends who are kind of all in the same boat. If you are talking to somebody who is struggling financially, a lot of the things that people are talking about doing are things like cutting expenses, obviously, luxuries, that kind of thing, increasing your income or building additional skills. So I hear from a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I'll pick up DoorDash or, Shipt or something like that." What do you if somebody is in that position and they are kind of juggling these ideas or these options, where should we focus to start?
Yeah. I think honestly, looking at your spending can help a lot because again, the money leaks. Find the money leaks first. So where is that money just going without you realizing it? So that would help first and foremost. Cutting expenses has a ceiling, right? There's only so much you can cut. Also, like I would negotiate some of the expenses that you do have. So maybe cell phone, call your companies, internet companies. I'm trying to think.
And if
One of
you're
my
younger
clients.
than millennials and you're scared of being on the phone, y'all,
Oh my
just bite the
God.
bullet. It'll be okay. I promise you, it's not as scary as you think. If you say something out of turn, like out of hand or whatever, like you can always hang up and try again. Okay, there's 4 million customer service people. No one cares. You can
Yeah,
call and
no,
ask. It's all right.
such a good point. Other things, I'm trying to think. One of my clients negotiated her rent. She was coming, her lease was coming up, and she asked, "Hey, can I get 1 month free? I see you're giving out free months to new tenants, so why not me?" And she got it. So thinking of outside the box, and yes, that's a good point. Like we sometimes we do have to talk on the phone, and it's okay. The worst thing they could say is no, but you can try. But cutting expenses has a ceiling, right? So there's only so much you can cut. And looking at my clients' budgets too, it's like, all right, well, now what else can we do? And we have to look at increasing income. Like, how can we make more money? Can you ask for a raise? Can you do something on the side? Um, can you build some skills that would make you some money some way somehow? Because the we need to make more in order to do more. So somehow we have to figure out what that could look like for us. And I think starting with the expenses can help, but that can only help so much. But it's more increasing the income some way somehow would be how we can do that. And I can share for me how I increased my income was switching jobs sometimes. So every time I left my corporate job, I got a decent sized increase in salary. And sometimes your job will match it if, let's say, you don't really want to go, but it's risky because you have to be ready to go in case they don't
Oh
match it.
yeah, of course.
So that was one of my how I started making more and more money and got up to my six figures. But every time I jumped, I got at least a $10,000 increase, and hopefully that would be the case. Um,
Well, and it's also smart to kind of remind people that obviously we're coming to this from a luxurious position. If you are in a place where you can make that, if you can like start that conversation or whatever, not everybody is, we understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. Like, we're talking, there's a bunch of people in the chat talking about, how cost of living keeps going up and how
Yeah.
a lot of these places that people work, even if you have a long term at that place, a lot of times their companies just aren't doing the cost of living adjustments like they used to. And I think as you were saying this, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, if you've crunched the numbers, like we've talked about, you've started with where is my money actually going right now, then you can say, okay, I now looked at my budget and what's going on. I haven't had a raise increase in, we haven't had a pay increase in 5 years. Here's what the costs of things have gone up. And honestly, that can be a really good way to start the conversation of like, hey, I know we haven't had a cost of living adjustment in this long, but here's what I'm looking at, and I'm going to have to go look for other jobs because this isn't working. So now I'm down to the blah, blah, blah. But if you're coming in it from a perspective of like, here's the stats I'm looking at, and the math isn't mathing, this is where I'm working from, that can at least be a little bit more of a jumping off point than I need more money as like the entirety of the
Yeah.
conversation. So,
Yeah, I think that's great too. Yeah, and you're gonna have the evidence and the numbers there to support your cause because the cost of living is even by me, it's rent is so astronomical. So I'm like, how do these young people out of school, how are they supposed to even like afford to live this life? So yeah, we got to be resourceful and do the best that we can with the evidence. And yeah, that's a good idea. So maybe Brian, I see your question in the chat. That might be a good idea for you as well. But again, it's like making sure you have a budget, make sure you know where your money is going, because that would help you streamline. Like, all right, am I using the money that I'm bringing in the most efficient way? But I also want you to remember, like, you have to enjoy your money too, right? If you can. But if they can adjust on the top side for you, that would be helpful.
okay. We only have about 4 minutes left before we gotta kind of round off. But one thing that I always like to ask my guests, is are there any questions we haven't asked you today? Something that like nobody ever asks, but you really wish they would ask about this topic?
I think the biggest thing is like a lot of what we talked about. It's like really digging into asking yourself, what is the story that's running my financial life? Like, why am I in the place that I am? What are the habits that I'm having? But why am I doing these certain things? And also, this goes with anything in life. Like, I know even for me, I'm on a health journey, right? So it's like, why am I not sticking to my routines every Monday? Why am I not planning my meals? So it goes down to like something that's underlying in there and creating these habits. So I think the question I guess I'll pose back is more on what's running your money story, what's running the show, and just know that it's possible to change these narratives and to lean on other people who are doing it. I think that's something like I had to do because my story about struggling, it was more like, oh, Latinas. I don't see any Latinas with money in my family. They're not investing, they're not saving. So I had to look outside somewhere for evidence that this is possible for me. So it's like if you see somebody else who's successful or thriving, it's like what step into their, aura or identity. Like what is it that they think? What is it that they do? So I had to like really kind of the be do have framework that I have is more of just questioning, who do we have to become to have the things that we want at the end of the day? And that comes with that lends itself to money, but also to like everything you could want in your blissful life. So blissful vida is about holistic wealth. So wealth is not only money; it's about like all the pillars of your life and thriving in all of those successfully and in a balanced way. So I hope that
Yeah,
that
of course. All right, we did have one last question that came in the chat. Kernard had asked has a question around career path, like finding the right environment that allows you to perform at your maximum potential while you balance work and personal life. In other words, what would you tell somebody who feels like they're gifted but they're in the wrong place? Kernard, I have been there like 400 times. So you again, Yana, all right, you are not alone in this one.
oh my
What would
God,
you tell
that's
this
not
person, Erika?
me. I could say I worked in corporate in financial services for 20 years, and I felt exactly that. I was like, this is not where I'm meant to be. I am so meant for more. And what kept me stuck there was the security and the money and the income, right? But I think it's it was up to me to finally decide that I'm like, hey, this is not what I want to be doing anymore. I don't feel fulfilled. This is not serving me and my blissful life. So I think it's, there's a balance, right? Sometimes we need security and we need money, but we want to, service other people and do more fulfilling work. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but it's more of, I guess, putting yourself out there. I don't know if you're, I know like LinkedIn is a place to like look for jobs. I'm not sure if you're on there, but then leaning more into sharing on there maybe would help about the gifted part of your what you want to tap into, and maybe connecting with those organizations a little bit more, seeing where they're at. Maybe they're hosting conferences or things that you can attend where you can get in front of them, and then that will make it maybe a little bit easier to find yourself in the right place instead of thinking that you're in the wrong place. So kind of like getting yourself in front of the spaces. Like I know I wanted to move into nonprofit before I started Blissful Vida, so I was fundraising for nonprofits. I would attend their fundraisers. It didn't pan out for me, the nonprofit route, and that's why I started my own business. But I knew I wanted to do more fulfilling work. So I hope that that helps. It's kind of like putting okay, you want to be in the right place. So how do you literally put yourself, a person who works there, where are they showing up? Where are they going? What are they posting? What are they doing? That would be my advice.
I love that advice. And as somebody who did this at multiple positions in multiple industries over the years, the best thing that I ever did was keep a list of either, and sometimes it was hyper specific stuff of like, I cannot work someplace that smells like decaying chicken or whatever it was. Like that was a thing. So sometimes they were hyper specific. Other times it was if they describe themselves as like a big family, run screaming. So it sounds a bit negative, but for me, it helped to be like, okay, this is what I don't want in my next job. This is what I like. I can't be in this kind of situation or this kind of scenario. So that helped me to try and triangulate a little bit closer every time I make a hop of like, this is a little bit better in this area, but it's really bad in that one, and that's not going to work. So try kind of keeping a list so that way maybe you're a little bit more dialed in on where might be the right place for you or what exactly is making this not the right place for you. So just a thought. Okay, y'all, that is going to bring us to the end of time today. But Erika, thank you so much. This has been really wonderful. And it was far less painful than I thought it was going to be. I was really looking forward to it, but in a like stressed of like, I'm going to hear all of the things that I know I should be doing better. And so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And anyone here too, if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me through my DMs. You have all my social media. I'll be happy to answer your questions through there as well. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Power to Fly, for hosting me in this money conversation. And remember, just go out there and thrive and live and fund your most blissful vidas. You're capable, you deserve it, you're worthy, all the good things. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Now don't forget, y'all, you just spent an hour doing something positive for yourself and yourself and your professional life, your financial life, all of this. It's not easy. So whether you're a little treat person or not, listen to Meg. Okay. Give yourself a cookie, gold star, pat on the back, coffee drink, maybe not Starbucks. That's all I'm saying. But whatever it is, please be nice to yourself today. Go out, have the day y'all voted for, and we cannot wait to see you back here on another fabulous Power to Fly chat and learn event. That's it, y'all.